Hey, what's up, party people? Welcome to a special 420 edition of Honest Trailer Commentaries. That's right, it's 2 days before Earth Day. We're celebrating early. I'm here with Lon Harris. I'm here with Danielle Radford. What are your guys' Earth Day plans before we get into the show?
I planted things. I planted a lavender thing.
Ooh, a lavender thing.
Yeah, and I've got some what are those plants we grow them in California because we ain't got water. I've got a bunch of those.
Succulent.
Succulents. You
Yeah.
just gotta spray
Yeah.
them puppies down. You don't have to do anything. I'm gonna become a plant influencer. That's my new thing.
Wow. Is there a plant fluencer? Is there
I'm
a
sure there are.
Yeah.
like whatever.
Plant daddies is
Yeah.
a thing.
Oh, plant daddies. There you go. It's tree day. It's
I'm a
tree day,
brotanist.
baby. Who needs Earth Day?
Yeah, I will be smoking some Synchronic that I found at a drugstore earlier.
Don't do
let
that.
I'll let you
No.
know how that goes. I hear there's
You
a
need
movie
a
about it.
caveman. It's a wild trip. Did you
You
watch
get
that
so high
movie?
you think you're a caveman?
I won't spoil it, but I love that whenever you think time travel in movies, it's always like Wild West, like maybe like Renaissance or like Shakespeare times. It's never just like the 20,000 years where we were just like messed up in a cave
more than
with
that.
like
Yeah,
a
there's a
club
good
like screaming, like it's I love that
200,000
it's-
years worth of cave times before
Right.
anything interesting happened.
where it's just like
Yeah.
some vile evil hominid like coming at you. Like that's almost all history as
Or
opposed
I
to
will
the
say,
short
on
period of time
perhaps
where there were
the
pirates.
day, 2 days before Earth Day, ancient aliens. You be the judge. I'd
I'm
love to
not
go back
saying
and
it's
find out.
aliens, guys, but it's aliens.
Anyways, we're here to talk about our double feature today for Reefer Madness and Big Lebowski. We're going to watch the trailer together. We're going to show you some cutscenes and jokes, maybe a little outtakes. You'll be surprised who is making the chewing noises. And then we'll respond to comments and questions from viewers like yourself. So keep those coming in the chat. Hopefully some will be in the script, but if not, I will go look. I'll wade into that chat with you guys and see what you're saying. So yeah, we I think for the first time in Honest Trailers history, Tuesday has fallen on a 420. So we felt like it'd be fun to do something appropriate. There aren't that many there's a lot of popular weed movies, but there isn't one that's like far and away. Like I think we all have our favorites. I
Right.
prefer Half Baked. What do you guys like in this genre? Maybe a Pineapple Express or something.
Half baked is my and Friday. Friday is a good
Friday.
one.
We've already done Friday, but yes,
Yeah,
that's
Half
fantastic.
Baked Friday, sort of the modern classics. I think like Up in Smoke, the classic Cheech and Chong adventure. The timing was right for How High to be a movie that I enjoyed when it was new. But yeah, I think those are sort of that our generation's kind of
Yeah,
classic.
and it
classic
turns
stuff.
out that the few gems we pointed out, I think that weed content is bad for the most part. Like stuff that's just overtly about it is not good or fun. Like whether it's a movie or someone's personality, it's not. There's not much there. But I do think that things can be enjoyed more, like the Big Lebowski, that just has kind of this otherworldly vibe, and he does smoke like 4 joints throughout the thing. So I thought that's one. I don't think we've ever done Coen Brothers, so I really wanted to
It's
take a crack
hard
at that.
because there's a self-awareness to the Coen brothers that makes it hard to parody because it's kind of already a joke, a meta joke about what it's doing. So yeah, I think there's a reason we haven't maybe dove into the Coen brothers yet.
I've never seen Reefer Madness until this last week. I just had seen the faster clips for playing the piano, and man, this was terrible. Have you seen Reefer Madness before, and what did you guys think?
I did because I like bad movies. Famous, like everybody knows that if you know me, I really like bad movies. But this one doesn't fit the criteria of a good bad movie. It's just kind of the first movie someone wrote. Like this was this
Yeah.
dude's first movie, and it was to scare the children from the marijuana. So yeah, it's not a fun watch. It's a little tedious for me.
It's super tedious. It really
Yeah.
feels like a very boring thriller, like a noir-y, like good kids get in over their head. Like it feels like that. And then the marijuana stuff is inserted in. Like it doesn't even feel like it organically is part of the movie. The movie is like this courtroom thing, and it's like, oh, we're caught in this, we're now trapped and we got to get out of it, and all that stuff. So yeah, it's very clunky, and I feel like it would need to be a little more realistic to scare you off of smoking pot.
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
and
it's so outlandish that you're like, well, this isn't scary because it's so obviously fake.
Yeah, it's propaganda. I mean, in a very real sense, it's like what's his Anslinger, Henry or Harry Anslinger and William Randolph Hearst were like, I don't like Latinos. How can we get rid of them? Let's demonize the marijuana so we can lock them up. And they produced like his papers, and then this whole PR push. The war on drugs kind of began in the 30s. Back before then, you could get your cocaine over the counter, and everything was great.
Yeah, it was perfect. It was like the way things ought to be, right?
I'll take cocaine and a root beer, please.
It was like heroin. You could like buy heroin at the store. You're like, got a little headache.
Well, little column A, little column B, but somehow marijuana got lumped in, became a Schedule I controlled substance, and the rest is history. Thanks to movies like this. So that's a bummer. But they did use this movie, screenings of this movie, to fundraise for the legalization movement, which I found ironic. That you would pay to see this movie to help fight the thing it was created to prevent. So I guess
there's a Streisand effect thing, I think, to a lot of that. Like a lot of the anti-drug stuff ends up fueling people's desire to try drugs, I think. Yeah. And this is like a prime example of it. Makes it seem fun because this is such a ridiculous, like, in the other direction.
Yeah.
That it almost,
yeah.
Cuts
well, with that said,
let's
launch into Reefer Madness / Big Lebowski. We'll have more to say as it progresses.
Hit it.
We had to fake all these requests, by the way. Pause for some Easter eggs when you want to see who's asking for
it. Okay, I'm ready. What are we doing this week? An old black and white movie. Is this Hitchcock or something? Oh, Reefer Madness. Nice. I hear it's pretty funny. Hold on, let me grab my chips. All right, hit it.
Hell, y'all children.
Get ready for a bunch of... one sec. Get ready for a movie that's supposed to scare young people off pot by lying about how bad it is for 90 minutes straight. And they still can't help from showing you.
The effect of pot, like every single joint in this movie is laced with PCP because they like go pedal to the metal, like when they're driving, like I'm on pot. They're like speeding around corners. They're dancing like as fast as they possibly can and like speeding up the music and like fighting and shooting each other, which in my personal experience means that you've just smoked angel dust.
It's like pot is all drugs. Like they're just like they have one category and it's like this is what happens when you do drugs and it's what happens if you do literally any drug. It's like caffeine, heroin, cocaine, pot, like it's all drugs at once. You can't there's no
categories. all of them make you like one step away from being naked on a laundromat on Cops. Like they're all that close.
Yeah, it's all like psychosis and like blackout. Like they don't remember. It's like that doesn't happen. You totally remember.
Anyways, keep going.
How it's cheap.
Taking 2-bit pieces from kids.
2 bits. 2
grows
bits
easily.
It grows wild in almost every state in the union.
And will basically get you laid on the spot. Man, I wish that were true in real life. Way to make pot look even better, movie. Return to the third.
Right here. That part, that's crazy. Like, there's a thing in this movie. There's a whole scene where the guy who hates pot goes to like the FBI and is like, "Why don't you guys just shut down pot nationwide?" And he's like, "Well, we can't because it just grows wild all over the country and people could just pick it and get stoned and there's nothing we can do." That is not true. That's never been true. Anybody who's
it's
tried,
sort of true.
It's us. No,
it's a weed. It's right there in the name.
There is. Like there are marijuana plants that sometimes will grow wild, and it's only because people planted them at one point in history. But that's like hemp. That's not, you can't just pick it. And anybody who's tried to grow smokable cannabis will tell you got to try. It's not just like going to happen overnight for no reason.
Yeah, if you're like a connoisseur, but there's definitely like if you walked through a temperate area, like say the California Bay Area and just scattered seeds into the woods and came back like after the rainy season, you could probably get a joint out of that.
Yeah, Johnny potted seed.
Well, now you're arguing, yes, if you planted pot, it would grow. Nobody's arguing that. It's a plant. I'm saying it doesn't happen wildly on its own all across the country where you could just be walking down the road and be like, look at that. I'm going to pick me an eighth. Like, that's not what? That's crazy. Well,
it's more so than
why would you even tell people that in your movie? That's not, we all know that's not true.
It is sort of true. It's more so than cocaine or heroin or something where you have to refine it. You have to do something to it. Like, it's a plant. You just pick the bud.
If you've already planted it.
Yeah, well, sure.
I've walked all across this country looking for wild marijuana. No, I'm kidding.
Okay, keep going.
30s, when every kid in high school looked like they were in their 30s, and even potheads wore a full suit and tie. As you're introduced to Eddie.
Well, hello, fella.
Gwen.
It's all right, Gwen.
Ralph.
Oh, hello, Ralph.
Kenny.
Thanks, Kitty.
Teddy.
Thanks, Eddie.
Mary.
Smoke, Mary?
Jimmy.
Oh, Jimmy.
Jack Perry.
Jack Perry.
Bill.
Hello.
Blanche.
Hello, Blanche.
May.
Thank you.
And Hot Fingers Pirelli.
My hot finger Curly.
Yeah, there's no way I'm keeping all these mayo-ass names straight. What's the main dork's name again?
Bill.
Bill? Okay, Bill. That'll work.
Pause. You can tell this is like somebody's first movie or something like that because they're like, well, we need to introduce all the characters for the rest of the play. All of them. We need to meet them all because all those intros are packed within maybe a minute and a half or 2 minutes. And it's just like, how will we know that these people haven't met before unless we see them all meeting for the first time? So
it's also weird. Like, the implication is they all know each other. Like, they all it's a neighborhood. Like, they all go to school together, grew up together. There's so many ways you could just do that with shorthand. Like, they're all in the soda jerk together, having a whatever, a lime Ricky, or they're all at school, or like but they don't. There's like 18 individual scenes where like groups of 2 or 3 of them meet up, and it's like efficiency of storytelling, man. Cut this down.
What is a lime Ricky?
Ooh.
A lime Ricky is a thing you'd have down at the soda jerk. I don't know.
Like
exactly
a chocolate phosphate?
It would be, it would be like I'm assuming that era's version of like a Sprite or a 7-Up type drink, but made custom for you rather than from a bottle.
That looks delicious. I might have myself a nice lime Ricky.
A nice lime Ricky? I'm not making it. Oh, it looks like a cocktail? Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, don't put a suit on if you drink it because I'm not going to know who you are.
I think there definitely were.
There definitely were. I don't know who you are.
In like olden times, I think there was a virgin version of the lime Ricky. I'm pretty sure you would order it it didn't necessarily have gin or bourbon in it, but you can apparently make it that way.
Yeah, if I was wearing a suit and holding a lime Ricky, you wouldn't know whether to call me Spencer, Will, Bill, Tim, Ken, or Melvin.
Hot Fingers Gilbert.
Hot Fingers Gilbert.
Hey.
Hot Finger Spenny. That's it.
Yeah. Hot finger, yeah.
Well,
okay,
naturally.
That's definitely your Reefer Madness name.
Yeah. All right, keep going.
Follow along with Bill, a loser who's hopeless with girls and bullied by children.
Bill's got a girlfriend.
Mom, make him cut it out.
Who develops a condition where he can't stop laughing until he finally snaps and shoots somebody. So it's like the exact same plot as Joker.
Joker stuff.
Experience a film that was scandalous for its time because a girl rolls down her stockings or whatever, but is mostly just boring. Really, really boring.
Yeah, pause. You can tell that this was like trying to serve 2 audiences, like, or maybe the same audience of like the repressed parent, I think, because like they're showing you like you go watch the movie and it shows you how bad marijuana is and how it's corrupting your children, but like you're going to watch the marijuana corrupt the children and see like women of ill repute roll down their lacy stockings at night. Like, oh bother. I feel like it's trying to it's trying to make money. Like they're trying to get you to watch something like scandalous while then telling you how bad everything is.
Yeah, it's just, in any era, sex sells or whatever that was, because that's just putting on clothes. But in any era, that's what works, I guess. Get the butts and seats.
Yeah, I mean, in some ways, this is like the proto version of like the after school special. So they're trying to use the language of the kinds of things you'd already watched to tell you some awful message.
Yeah.
It's like sneak subterfuge,
Yeah. But you see a lady's ankle, and then like you catch the vapors. You have to.
And she auditioned for that. That was think about it. I just think about like real people auditioned to be in this movie. God bless them.
If you do get this role, there will be some ankle nudity required. So
put it right in the contract.
We'll have a sensitivity consultant on the set when ankles are revealed. And everybody will just be you and the director.
So you'll be wearing a sleeve, an ankle sleeve.
You'll be wearing an ankle sleeve.
So there'll be no actual contact. I want to see like HBO when you're watching something good and it has like the BN, like brief nudity violence or whatever, that for Reefer Madness, or it'd be like FP, like fast piano playing, BA for like brief ankle.
Yeah, ankle revealed.
All right, keep going.
Really boring. As you sit through the most depressing opening crawl since Rise of Skywalker, sit through marathon PTA meetings, and sit through a slow courtroom drama that would make any teenager want to jump out a window. Actually, you know what? Can we just bail on this one early?
Facts.
The whole film's a huge bummer. Half of it is just boring, and the other half is just freaks playing piano and laughing at each other.
Everyone knew how to play piano back then.
Yeah, every single person.
And it was hilarious.
Yeah, the connection to like specifically
In the
to like
30s,
hot
this was basically
jazz
rock.
and the piano is like it's
Enough,
very
okay?
pointed.
Kill my buzz. Can we watch something else? That's what I'm talking about. Now, where did I leave Benedict Cumberbatch? Oh, there you are.
I feel like that's what his bong would be named. Epic voice guy, the character.
Yeah, I feel like, yeah.
Okay, much better. Spark a J, pour yourself a White Russian, and relax for the most chilled out LA detective story since The Long Goodbye or Cutter's Way. You know, Night Moves was pretty great. Oh, then there's Devil in a Blue Dress. And you've seen Inherent Vice, right? I guess faded LA detective noir is like a whole genre, huh? Wait, what movie was I talking about again?
Come on, man.
Right, The Big Lebowski.
Yeah,
Best
pause.
Film.
I mean, I think that's no mistake. Like, LA is or at least has been, the center of movie making, and a lot of people do drugs out here. So you're gonna end up with a lot of movies of like, what if you had a guy kind of wandering around baked, trying to solve a crime?
I mean, a lot of it is like the Philip Marlowe tradition. I mean, there's one of the classic detective characters is this very like West Coast detective, and that's who Elliot Gould is playing in Long Goodbye. It's who Humphrey Bogart sort of memorably played Philip Marlowe. The Big Sleep, I believe, is that film. And so that's like I feel like it's a tradition that's now just become this whole like Under the Silver Lake. Did you guys see that?
Yeah.
An example of the like sort of out of it trying to piece things together, but it's way too complicated LA noir story.
I got to revisit Inherent Vice. I didn't like it, but I only saw it once, and I feel like I need to give that, like, kind of let it wash over you the way these movies do.
I love it. I get that it's not for everybody. I'm not trying to I totally get, and it's not like a talk down if you didn't like get it or whatever. Like, I understand, but yeah, I think the key to that movie is stop trying to solve the mystery. Just it's super baffling. Doc Sportello doesn't get it either. Just appreciate what you're seeing and don't try to piece it all together.
Yeah, and I definitely feel that way about Big Lebowski. Like, I've seen this a dozen times, and like I couldn't tell you like where does the money end up at the end. I'm not sure. I don't think it particularly matters because it's just fun to. Hang out with these people.
If you wanted to, I could unpack what happens in Big Lebowski for you. It's
at
not essential.
At the very end, I guess there never was $1 million in the first place.
No, you threw out a ringer for a ringer.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well,
he no longer digs Bunny. It was they were trying to blackmail him, but the Big Lebowski was like happy to be rid of her.
Yeah. All right, keep going. Mystery solved.
Ever. You know this movie. Even if you've never seen this movie, you know it.
Yeah, well, that's just like your opinion, man.
You even know the TV edit.
See what happens when you find a stranger in the Alps?
It's like pop culture herd immunity. The film's crossed over into the shared cosmic unconsciousness. Whew, boy, I'm flying. Whew. Oh, get a hold of yourself, Happy Boys guy. But for real, this film is such a cult hit, there are entire fan conventions. This poster was on half the dorm rooms in America. And there's a Lebowski challenge where you drink a White Russian every time the hero does, which I do not recommend because, wow, that's a lot of dairy.
Yeah, pause. Terrible idea. And I love White Russians, but 8 in a 2-hour span is about 6 too many.
You're asking for it at that point.
Have you ever tried? He does it in the movie, and I've never been bold enough. A creamer, like a dairy creamer White Russian, where you don't have milk and you just put the dairy creamer in there.
Wait,
I've
what
been
do you
poor.
do?
You know, like instead of coffee, you'd use the non-dairy creamer, like the powder. There's a scene in this movie where he makes a White Russian with that instead.
So
of
instead
milk.
of like Kahlua, you do
instead of milk.
Instead of milk,
instead of milk,
right?
Okay,
Like
just
in
like
your
in the
coffee,
little.
If you didn't. It's like it's a powder, right? It's like non-dairy creamer. It's like it's like that. It's
that's gross. I'd rather not.
I've never tried it.
Yeah,
I'm okay. I'm okay with myself. I know where I came from.
Never forget. But yeah, I think half and half Kahlua and a nice vodka, and like you're fine. But it's not the kind of drink you want to like session exactly.
No, it's a sipping and hanging drink.
Yeah.
It's not a competition drink.
Yeah, exactly.
It's almost like a dessert. I really before this movie, especially, I would have thought of it as like exclusively a dessert drink. It's like you have 1, maybe 2 at the end of like the meal.
Yeah.
And then you're not drinking Kahlua all night. That's crazy.
Ugh, it's turning my stomach. Let's keep going.
Harry. Right along with the dude. He's less of a character than a way of life. Jeff Bridges cruises his way through a plot that needs a flowchart to follow until you and he both stop trying to put the clues together and just enjoy the ride.
This is a very complicated case, Maude. You know, a lot of ins, a lot of outs, a lot of what have yous.
In a comedy that you don't really get until you've seen it like 3 or 4 times, that doesn't have jokes per se, but just weird characters repeating themselves until the humor cracks your brain open.
Sometimes there's a man.
Yeah, pause. Danielle, you flagged this, and it's like, oh wow, they are constantly repeating themselves.
Oh yeah.
This entire movie.
It's a good rhythm. Like I get for the rhythm of the movie why it works, but the first couple of times I was like, I wonder if that's like a conscious choice or if it's just a rhythm thing, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely think it is a conscious choice, and I think part of it is like it's how the dude's brain works. Like there's the part where he sees George H.W. Bush on TV, like this aggression will not stand. And then that's what comes to his mind later when he's telling the guy, I was like, this aggression will not stand, man. And I think like it's like this is how he's constantly taking all of these things in, but it's not clear where any of the stuff came from. It's all just getting repurposed and recycled.
And I mean, isn't that true of the Coen brothers in general, where they are this kind of like hodgepodge of genre and character traits and stuff like that? And like, I couldn't really tell you what the point is, except that like life is meaningless, but it's fun, but it's also fun.
It's just to hang out with some cool people, and then there's a story that I guess you can or cannot pay attention to, but it's mostly look at all these actors and how
this
cool
movie.
they are.
Totally. This movie, Llewyn Davis, Burn After Reading.
A Serious Man is very much like what you were saying. Like it's all we're stuck in these like repetitive kind of cycles, and there's like it's all this search for meaning that's not really there. And there's like the upbeat versions of that, and then the downbeat, but they're always kind of around that. I mean, to what Danielle was saying, like repetition is a huge thing in all Coen brothers movies. Like their humor always plays around with. Like Hudsucker Proxy with like, for kids, or you think he's wise? He don't look wise, like it's always, or there's another one in that one too. Do you know him? Where he's always like, oh, he went to school with you. Do you know him?
They're awesome. We should do a Coen brothers.
Like every Coen.
Yeah, every Coen brothers movie. But I think it's probably more popular on this side of the camera than the audience, but whatever. So it'd be fun to rewatch them all.
People like Fargo.
Yeah. All right, keep going.
There's a man. Sometimes there's a man.
Where's the money, Lebowski? Where's the money, Lebowski?
See what happens, Lebowski? You see what happens?
Stay out of Malibu, Lebowski! Ow! Stay out of Malibu, deadbeat!
Strong men also cry. Strong men also cry.
Her life is in your Her life is in your hands, dude.
They're gonna kill that poor woman. They're gonna kill that poor woman.
He's a good man and thorough. Please see him, Jeffrey. He's a good man and thorough.
They did not receive the money, you nitwit! They did not receive the money!
He believes in nothing. He believes in nothing, Lebowski, nothing.
Is this your homework, Larry?
Is this your homework, Larry?
Look.
You see what happens, Larry? You see what happens, Larry? I'll tell you! Get out of here! I'll tell you!
And they pee on my rug?
They pee on your rug?
They peed on my rug.
Oh, we're still rolling. My bad. But
So pause. John did not have chips during the recording session, so you're hearing a hybrid performance of me eating into a microphone and John Bailey. So I think I deserve at least partial voiceover credit for this one. For
you gotta start an ASMR channel with that eating. You make some money
now.
on the
The
side.
interesting thing is, I tried a lighter chip that didn't really have the same presence, and I switched to a Trader Joe's non-cracker. Which had like a more of a thickness than a chip, and it came through really well, I think, at the final cut.
It's sort of half honest trailer, half mukbang.
Yeah. Ew. Oh God. All right, keep going.
But the dude doesn't roll alone. Hit the lanes with Walter, who was extremely loud and wrong before the internet made it fashionable. If he's not ranting about the war in Vietnam, he's finding ways to make everyone else's life harder, especially Donnie's.
Shut the up, Donnie. Shut the up, Donnie. Shut the up, Donnie. Shut the up, Donnie.
And they'll all cross paths with a who's who of that guys, that girls, and the late great PSH in this wish fulfillment fantasy for aging men.
I mean, that's what makes the movie, is just the amazing actors playing weird little side characters that he's just ping-ponging from one to the next. Like, I would watch any of them. I would watch spin-offs of any of them, but as I say that, the Jesus spin-off, not great.
Nah.
So I would watch any of them with the Coen brothers' full involvement, and or a Noah Hawley or something taking the reins. So yeah, it's just like I don't know, like that's the joy in this movie, and what makes it so rewatchable is like the little ticks and little snippets of dialogue from all these people who could carry a movie by themselves, just getting like a scene or two to do their thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's always such a specific sense of place and of setting in almost every Coen Brothers movie, where that's really what they do. Is it's less like a narrative driving momentum story, and it's more like this is a world that extends way beyond the parameters of the movie. Like Fargo obviously is another example. Like you really feel like you're getting to know this whole world, and this is just one thing that's happening. And it's why like Fargo makes for such a cool TV show, because you can just keep expanding out into that world. And it's got all these other different corners, like what was happening in Kansas City at that time, and it's I think that's what they do so well, is they build these weird mini little alternate realities.
Yeah, I want to see Barton Fink. What's in the other rooms? Let's go to the other floor this week on Barton Fink.
Yeah, but it's true. Like Barton Fink's LA or the Miller's Crossing, like that setting. Like there are all these like platforms for these huge ensembles and these crazy sprawling stories. And it does feel like, yeah, you could set 5 more movies in the Hollywood of Barton Fink for sure.
But when are they going to do a Marvel movie? Just turn into Jiminy Glick.
Like all of a sudden.
Yeah, very excited for their take on Multiple Man.
Yeah.
I keep going.
In this wish fulfillment fantasy for aging men who dream of bowling all day in their PJs, then getting paid a lot of money to smoke weed and have responsibility-free sex with a woman who doesn't care about how gross your apartment is. Living the dream, dude. So watch the Coen brothers and Roger Deakins team up for a visual delight that feels like it exists outside of time. Because even though it's set in the 90s, and the villains are totally 80s, fighting characters who are stuck in the 60s and 70s, who are trapped in a film noir caper straight out of the 40s and 50s, it still somehow makes perfect sense. Like there's something at the center of it all that just kind of ties the whole thing together, Whoa.
Pause. He never does get his rug back, though, huh?
He gets a different rug. He steals a rug from the Big Lebowski as a replacement.
Yeah.
Tells Brett, the old man says I can take any rug in the house.
Then Danielle is right. Maud takes it back.
Oh, right. Yeah, Maud does take that rug back.
So he ends it rugless, man. Oh. Damn. That sucks.
That's a shame.
Let's get a sequel going where he gets his rug back. Yeah. Anyways, keep going.
There's a little Lebowski on the way.
That's true.
It strikes and gutters, ups and downs.
Starring the fabulous Baked Boy, Forrest Gump. Shut the up, Donnie. A 1, a 2, a 3. Pumpkin Spice Hoffman. They called me by your name. Urbane Cowboy. Ares, God of War. But wait, there's Julianne Moore. Oh hey, it's Amy Mann. And flip-flop a triple-dip a whip-wap skateboard.
Pause.
High crimes.
I had to walk John through that syllable by syllable.
I'm so sorry.
He's not a Chili Peppers fan. God bless him. But I was like,
He was
like
throwing these
like
90s rock references, and it was Cake a few weeks ago. Now it's the Chili Peppers.
He was not. He was out of it for that time frame. So I had to be like, like whip wop flip flip lap a skateboard.
Like wham bam bim a limba doom bomb.
Got the Wapa, California.
Yeah.
Down my Venice Beach now. Yeah.
Like that John Daly one.
Yes. They made a fake Chili Pepper song and.
Burbank, Glendale.
Yeah, Chili Peppers music, much like Flea, it just like shows up. I don't know how you could avoid it. It just shows up places.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like maybe you wouldn't know that's who you're hearing, but I don't understand. Like if you were just like the Under the Bridge song, how somebody would be like, oh right, the Under the Bridge song.
The last 20 years, at some point
like
you've heard it.
The modern equivalent is like Tyler Perry just showing up and stuff.
Yeah. I'm excited for, 20 years from now. I guess it's already classic rock, but when it's like really in the distant past and like the future's James Gunn is making some like enormous blockbuster Marvel movie and they make like an Awesome Mix Volume 9 and it's like Chili Peppers and Jane's Addiction.
Mm-hmm.
Like, all this stuff that was
Toad the Wet Sprocket.
Toad the Wet Sprocket.
I mean, that stuff is already like old. Like that's
already classic rock.
That's 30 years old. Like that's as old as, like the 60s was when we were listening to that music.
Yeah.
Yeah. Terrifying.
It's sending me on this whole, I was just a random tangent, but that's what today's all about. Is I was at the dentist yesterday and they played 2 of the songs from Guardians of the Galaxy in the dentist office. And I'm like, I can't believe people think the soundtrack is good and cool for Guardians of the Galaxy. Like it is seriously waiting room music. Anyways,
good songs.
Heavy dad rock.
Dad rock.
I mean, listen, I think it would, like, if they weren't such like radio, like you've heard them so many times.
Sure,
they would have more of an impact. But it's like, they're all.
Also switching gears. Why does the dude like Creedence but not the Eagles? Like that seems very much in the same boat to me.
No, I think the Eagles even in its era was like it's like soft. It's
They're
like
the polished, like smooth version.
That's that laid back California rock instead of like like the more political, hard driving, relevant Southern fried rock that Creedence was doing.
All right, fair enough.
It's like Don Henley always kind of like, and not a knock. There are some great Don Henley songs, but it's like you could always see how people would be like, I don't know about this guy.
No. The only Eagles song I like is One of These Nights.
Ooh, One of These Nights.
Yeah. The other ones I find very skippable. Anyways, I guess let's finish this trailer, man.
High crimes and bliss demeanors. The Coen brothers killed Steve Buscemi in Miller's Crossing, cut him down to just a leg in Fargo, and turned him into ash in Lebowski. That dude is so getting vaped in their next movie.
It's become like a tradition. It's putting him in smaller and smaller containers.
Containers, yeah.
Anywho, guys have any final thoughts on those 2 films or on Lebowski in general?
I love the Big Lebowski. It's like infinitely rewatchable. Like I've seen it hundreds of times and I could still throw it on and it would be fun to watch.
Yeah, it's both a fun movie to watch with the crowd and also the kind of fun movie that you can clean your apartment with. And like those I find are really rare and maybe it's just because I know it. But yeah, it's really easy entertainment. And if you put it on in a party, your party is over and now your party is just watching Big Lebowski.
Yeah. It's also, that one has a great soundtrack that is songs I did not know before they were in this movie, especially the Kenny Rogers just stepped in to see what condition my condition was in. Song that plays during the dream sequence.
Amazing soundtrack. I wonder why like this one has popped so much more, had such a cult life. Like there aren't festivals around like Llewyn Davis or whatever, but probably because of like the contemporary setting. And I think like we were talking earlier, all their movies are a little bit about how life is meaningless, but this one, or how it's random and unconnected, but this one is like more of an upbeat take on that.
Right. I do think that philosophically the movie has something to say that is like a nice thing. Like I think the dude abides has like staying power as a life philosophy. I feel like that feels relevant for people in a way that goes beyond just the movie. And
F it, let's go bowling.
Yeah.
Although, is there a commentary about how like because he's like he was a '60s radical who was like engaged, and now he just is parroting, George Bush, and like he's just totally checked out and like has completely lost his involvement in the world? Is it supposed to maybe darker than we're giving it credit
it's
for?
Not as dark as Chicago 7 ending and letting you know that the guy became a stockbroker. Like, oh, by the way, Jerry Rubin became a stockbroker. Like, what? So the film is meaningless, is what you're saying. Like, nothing matters. Just it's all just a game. They're all just showing up to play. What? Just don't tell me that. I just don't even want to know that.
Papa Sorkin
Leave that out.
That.
Sorkin, let me have
to
my
Sorkin,
fantasy.
that's like a happy ending, though. It's
Yeah,
like,
that
oh, good,
guy-
he
remember
cleaned
that
up
guy?
and made something of himself.
Remember that guy that I pretended caught an egg? Stockbroker now.
F it, let's go bowling.
Might as well. Yeah, it's a sunnier.
Let's see what we cut out of this masterpiece.
So it's like the exact same plot as Joker, with more Cesar Romero vibes.
It's like that clip.
Shut the up, Donnie. Shut the up, Donnie.
He just wants to bowl, man. Lay off him. I think he's just jealous, man, because Donnie is clearly the best bowler.
He always pulls strikes.
Starring The Big
Except right before he
Chill,
does.
Citizen Dank, Jeff Daniels, The Dude, Okay Boomer, A Stranger in the Alps, The Vet Offensive, Donnie in the Darko, Alfred Not Even Pennyworth, Feminist Fatale, Killed a Wabbit, Love and Other Rugs.
Yeah.
Hey, did you know the night Donnie dies, his bowling shirt says Johnson on it? And earlier in the movie, the nihilist who killed him threatened to cut off the dude's Johnson.
Now, that was something I read on like an IMDb fact that turned out to not be true. So don't trust your user-submitted IMDb facts. I was like, oh, wow, someone noticed this crazy detail. Oh, sure. Think before
Always
you write. Do your own research.
Trust but verify, folks.
Yeah, trust but verify.
That's the lesson here.
Exactly. Thank you guys so much for watching at this point. Please subscribe on the off chance that you haven't, and hit the like and hit the bell so you never miss another thing. And then you can, you don't have to subscribe to do this, but you can send chat questions to the AMA and we'll answer them right here live on the show. Evan J. Pretzer writes, "It's your boy, Evan J. Pretzer." Welcome back. Wow, he submitted like 5 questions, and I'm not going to let you dominate this show, Mr. J. Pretzer. But let's pick one here. Okay, what would the group's 30s nickname be, a la Hot Fingers Pirelli?
Like go around and pick our 30s nicknames.
I mean, you're definitely Lime Ricky.
Yeah. I'll take that. I'll accept that one.
Yeah.
I don't know. Boogaloo Rad, something like that. I'm trying to think of like 30s words. It was a different time in a different language, so something like that, right?
That works. I was thinking these are the kind of thoughts that I usually keep to myself, but it's today where I was thinking how funny it would be to have like a very Italian cowboy. So I'm like, hey.
I mean, every spaghetti western is what you're describing.
Yeah, but I'm thinking like more like Jersey, like Sopranos, like that kind of cowboy.
Like Christopher Moltisanti.
Yeah, Christopher Moltisanti. Like, I'm roping here.
Hey.
It's my first rodeo.
What are you going to do? You're not going to round up them cattle, you stunad?
See, I like the idea of it being like an Italian, like, oh, I put on the horseshoe,
So I guess I'll be.
But I definitely recommend the cinema of Sergio Leone if Italians pretending to be cowboys is something that intrigues you.
I'll be the Calzone Cowboy. That'll be my nickname.
Wow, that doesn't sound like a 30s nickname. I mean, like, let's be honest. You would get a nickname. I would be like Lonnie the Jew. Like, it would just be, it would not be a clever.
And I would do like people did back then, where they just pretended they were Italian. It's like, oh no, my dark skin. I'm just from Italy.
Oh yeah, the Sicilian.
The Sicilian.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, one more, Evan, because you submitted like 10. So here's we'll give you 2 for 10. Jeff Bridges wore his own clothes in the movie mostly. What movie's made better by an actor dressing themselves for it? Or maybe what movie would be made better by an actor wearing their own wardrobe on film?
Batman 89. I think if you just get him, Batman, like wearing his own hanging out every day 80s shirts, I think, or 90s shirts, that would be rad.
Also,
just
Nicholson just in like his Laker game, regular outfit.
Yeah.
That would be good.
I think Jonah Hill could pull off some outfits, but he's not in like anything serious enough where that would like really pop. Like I feel like he could wear all of his like streetwear in Superbad or 21 Jump Street and it looked fine, but I'd just like to see more of his clothes.
I feel like Nicolas Cage characters often dress more normally than just Nicolas Cage. Like when you see Nicolas Cage in the world, he's always got some like crazy jacket on and some like wild print stuff. And it's just like him doing like a drama like Joe, but he's just dressed like everyday Nicolas Cage, I think would be a lot of fun.
Yeah. And he has the voodoo skull sewn into his jacket lining for Ghost Rider.
Yeah. Like honestly, like Castor Troy is probably his character with the most in common with his real fashion sense, which is amazing to think about.
So good.
If he carried like gold guns with dragons on them, I would not be surprised. You're like, no, that's just, those were Nicolas Cage's guns.
No, they're not props. Be careful with that.
Just work them into the movie.
And Levetto writes, was the audio chip eating recorded for this trailer, or do I just carry it around on my phone? No, that was custom. Also, what is the best flavor of potato chips? Salt and vinegar, anyone?
That's me. Salt and vinegar is my choice.
God, that's like punishment. I really don't understand salt and vinegar chips. It's just
you're outvoted. I love salt and vinegar chips. I need to pair them with like I have to drink beer or something similar at the same time. Like you can't just have that without a beverage. Whereas I could eat like Doritos, all day, every day. But yeah, salt and vinegar, great pick.
Sour cream and onion, king of chip flavors. I'm just gonna come out here and say like barbecue, pretty good, but sour cream and onion, number one with a bullet.
They were my gateway to salt and vinegar, actually.
There you go. How about those Maui onion chips? Those are fun.
Oh, I like those.
A little sweet, a little salty.
Also, there is what are those, like those kettle chips? There's one of those that's like Thai spice or something that's like got a little bit of a Thai peppery flavor that's really, really good.
I got some pickle flavored chips at Trader Joe's yesterday. I'm excited / concerned, but I have to try. I'll try anything once, and that's it sounded intriguing. So I'll report back with how that is. Really and you can expect more exciting content like this on Australia's commentaries when we come back next week for. To be honest, we're still figuring it out.
Oh, okay, good. I was like, did I forget to do my work?
I haven't fully committed one way or the other because nothing's coming out this week. There's like literally nothing to tie it into. So let's just look at some requests.
We've done the Mortal Kombat films. Before everybody freaks out, there's nothing coming out this week. We know that Mortal Kombat's coming out, but we've done the Mortal Kombat film.
That's true. That's a good point.
Should point that out before everybody in the comments is like, "What the hell are you talking about?"
Finish him. Yeah. So there will be some Mortal Kombat in the future. Don't worry. And I'm sure you can predict some other things that may be ending or releasing soon that we'll also be covering. But next week, it's a wild card, and that's what we're all about. Wild card. I hope everybody has a safe and happy Earth Day. Thank you, Danielle. Thank you, Lon, for joining me. I'll get back to you about those pickle chips, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.